Hi there, my name is Aaron Short and welcome to my YouTube channel. If you're new here, please consider subscribing and ring the bell so you're notified of new videos or live streams. What you just heard was the Fender amp through the 2 Notes Captor X. This is new for me. I'm often using digital modelers on the channel, but I want to kind of go back to basics. So what I've got is my tube amp there. I've got a Fender Princeton, which is a 1x10 combo amp, and also the Synergy amp, which is really cool. I'll be covering them in a future video, but this is from 2 Notes. It's the Torpedo Captor X, and this has been provided for review. Thank you so much to 2 Notes. I really appreciate it. I really wanted to check this out because I heard awesome things about this unit before I even got my hands on it. The reviews have been off the charts, and it really is as good as everybody says. It's so easy to use. You just plug in the output of your amplifier into the red speaker in. If you want to hear the actual amp itself, you'll then plug another speaker cable back into the speaker of the amp. So you go into this from the output and then back in through this output here. I'm not doing that today. I'm just going straight into the red input here, and then I'm going left out into my audio interface. You can also do stereo because this has some stereo effects and twin tracking effects as well. So you might want to go stereo into your interface or mixer. So what is this? Well, this is your tube amp's best friend. This will basically allow you to have attenuation on the back here. It's full volume, medium or low. So you can attenuate your real amp in the room. Of course, as I just said, you can send the amp through a cab into a recording interface or front of house for recording. And there you can process it with reverb, EQ. There's a tuner in the app. The app is for your phone, iPad, or computer. So you can connect in any way that you want to. There's also some controls on the front, a master level, voicing, and space control, as well as different presets. This thing is amazing, and it might sound complicated, but it's not. You can use this however you want to use it. I'm simply plugging into this, plugging into the PA and playing, and it sounds really, really cool because I've got the real amp, the real pedals, everything real just coming through these cab simulations, which are awesome. They've got 2 mics. You can move the mics around virtually. So much easier than miking the amp in this apartment. And of course, in the apartment, I can't mic an amp anyway because of the neighbors. Sorry, guys. So let's take a closer look at the app. Let's go over to my desktop and I'll show you how I'm using this. So it comes with this awesome app. Now the app is on your phone or your tablet or the desktop. This is the desktop version. Allows you to update firmware and buy more cabinets. You don't need to buy more cabinets. It comes with a lot in there. But I wanted to get the 1x10 to emulate the Princeton behind me. So I did get that. But look at this. This thing is absolutely fantastic. So I'll just show you what it can do. Okay, so the way it works is that you just plug it into power in the back here where it says power. Easy enough. It comes with the power supply. And then you unplug your speaker from the amp. If it's a combo, if it's an amp head, then you would just run from the output into where it says speaker in, the red one. That's all you do. And then you can run stereo left and right XLR to your recording interface or your PA system. So I'm just running left out straight into my interface. Works really great. There's also the USB connection where you would connect it to use the app, or you can use an app over Bluetooth, like I said before. And then there's a speaker out where you plug in the actual speaker for your amp or combo, and that has an attenuator, so you can either have full volume, medium volume, or low volume. You can attenuate it. I'm not doing that because even then it's too loud in the apartment. I'm just using this to go direct, and it sounds awesome. Okay, there's a ground lift for the XLR on the back there. Let me show you the front. Very easy to use on the front here. There's a light that comes on when it's turned on, and it will flash red if the signal is too hot going in. So then you just change the level here. Mine's set to low right now. And you've got an output level, a voicing control, and a space control. So you can change the tone and the reverb from the front while you're playing on stage, or you can just do everything from the app, which is what I'm doing today. This is what the app looks like. It's really, really powerful. Now, there's so many features here. Let me run through how I'm using it right now. So what I've done is I've loaded up the cabinet I want, which is the 1x10 silver. Okay, that's the Jensen that's in this amp behind me. You've also got an IR loader, and you can change that to any cabinet that you want. Look, these are the ones that come with it, but I'm going to stick with that one for now. Okay, so there's a big load of options here. And the thing is, the cabinet changes the EQ. So if you have kind of a thin sound and you want more bass, you can either use the EQ in the app, or you can just change the cabinet for a larger cabinet, like a 4x12. So there's two ways of changing that, which you obviously can't do in the real world without buying a real cabinet. So I've got the 1x10 silver, which will recreate the sound of the amp that I have as if I'd mic'd it up. Now, talk about microphones. There's two mics. This is great. Look, there's an A and a B, and you can actually change the distance of the mic. Watch the screen. You can change the distance of each microphone, which again will give you a different sound. You can also change the axis, like that, where it is on the front. And you can control everything here. And you can obviously you can change the mics as well. Kind of a can of worms, like a rabbit hole to go down. But honestly, just loading it up and just playing, to me, just sounded great. So that is just my guitar into the Captor X with no adjustments. But what we also have here is a full EQ section. As you can see, you can turn it off or on. So you can just change that on the fly. If you want less mids, just pull it down. Listen. Change the whole sound. Pull it back up again. So there's so much control here over the amp. It's amazing, but you don't have to touch it. You can just plug the amp in, use the controls on the amp. It sounds awesome. That's why I love this. It's so simple. And like they say, it's your amp's best friend. It really is. There's also this enhancer. This is without it. And with it. Really, really nice. And you can change those settings here. And there's another reverb. So I've got the reverb from the amp right now. I can also add a secondary reverb from the Captor X. Now I've got more of an ambient sound. That's amazing, and you can change the kind of reverb. Look, all these different reverbs are there. You can change the size, the color, the echo, whether it's small or big. That's incredible. So I'll leave that on about 30% right now to add some more reverb to my sound. So again, I've got this sound right now. Just a really bright, fendery, clean. There's some more settings here. Look, more EQs. There's so much control over your sound. There's also a noise gate, and you can just turn that on here. That's really cool. Really great for recording. There's not much hiss on this amp, on this guitar. There's a little bit. So I can actually learn the hiss. Look. Turn it on, press learn. It figures out the noise, and then when I stop playing, the noise is gone completely. It's so cool. That's so useful for recording. You're going to love that in the studio. It's just amazing. Now, what I love about this is that I do love the digital stuff, and I'll be using it more in the future. But it's nice to take a step back and plug into a real amp and real pedals and just remind yourself what that experience is like. And I've really enjoyed that. I can't get a bad sound. It's so easy. Now, the problem is I'm in an apartment. I cannot turn the amp up loud. I'll get in so much trouble. And the problem is, as you may know, with distortion, you need a certain level to really get the amp cooking. Well, with this, I can do that. I can turn the amp up and get amp distortion. I mean, I've never heard this amp on 10 before, but now I can turn the amp to 10, turn the input level down, and I can hear the amp's actual power distortion. Let's try it right now. It sounds like this. So you can go anywhere you want in between the settings I've got. I've got super clean, and that's obviously 10, which is way over the top. But it's nice that you can now have those options and hear what that would sound like. It sounds pretty amazing. Now I have to tweak it more, obviously, but the fact that I can do that, I could never do that in the apartment without using the attenuator, and even then it'd be too loud. So it's awesome. Now the other thing I like to do is to run pedals through the amp. So here's a tube screamer. Again, you can't really get this tube screamer cooking when you plug into the amp direct, but now I can. It's awesome. And then your really heavy distortion, same thing. This is 2 distortions now. Now, you might decide, well, that's great, but it's a 1x10, and the songs I'm recording today need something bigger. I mean, for a start, you might use a guitar with humbuckers, but we can change the sound, like I said before. We can go to the cabinet and choose a 4x12, which is something we couldn't do in the real world without buying a 4x12 cabinet. So you can just load that up, just choose one that you like. I'll just choose one randomly. Let's try the strong back. And now see how it's changed the sound. Completely different sound to the other one. And then, of course, you can then change the EQ if you want. You could scoop some of that sound out. So take out some 800, boost to 6K, and then try that. So that's awesome for recording. Now you can record with different cabinets, different EQs. Of course, you can use the EQ in your DAW and recording software as well, but this gives you so much flexibility. And the great thing with this is you can use it for recording, for practicing with headphones, or on a stage. Of course, on stage, you can still have your amp with you, but you can have this running to the front of house. So the front of house hears this. Front of house hears that, you hear the amp behind you, and you get a combination then of the 1x10 and the 4x12 all mixed together. That would sound huge, absolutely huge. So I absolutely love this thing. I highly recommend it. I've had no problems with it. I've only had awesome times with it because I can now use real gear, real amps, real pedals through this. Now, the only thing I want to say is there's 2 versions. There's the 8 ohm and the 16 ohm. This caused me some confusion because the Fender amp is 8 ohm, the Synergy amp is 16. I wasn't sure which one to get. I know some other products on the market also are in separate devices like 4 ohm, 8 ohm, 16 ohm, but there are some devices where you can select the ohmage from the device. I'd love to see that on the next version of this. I'd love to have one box that could do any amp. That would be great. Having said that, the other devices on the market that have that option are twice the price. So you could just go out and buy 2 of these, an 8 ohm and a 16 ohm, and then you're covered for everything. The price is really good compared to the competition. So I will give it that. And that might be an option. I've read online that it's safe to use 8 and 16 together. If you go like one step away, it's fine, but be careful. So I don't like that. I'd rather have 2, one for each amp. And I would definitely invest in 2 if I was recording, gigging all the time. For now, I'm just using the 16 and I'm just running into the PA. I'm not using the attenuation on the back. but definitely check with the amp manufacturer for your amp and get the correct unit for what you're doing. So I highly recommend this. This is amazing. If you've got an amp and an analog pedal board that you love and you want to get into digital, but you're too scared to jump into like a Helix or a Kemper or a Quad Cortex, whatever, I think this is the way forward, because you can have the real thing that you've spent so many years searching for, but now you can use it direct. You can use it with headphones late at night. You can record with it. You can use it on a stage to go to front of house. This little box is absolutely awesome. If you're going to check one out, I'll put my affiliate link to Sweetwater below in the USA. But honestly, I've had so much fun with this. It's been so great getting back to basics. I'm going to have more videos about this rig where I show you my small analog pedal board that goes along with this amp and the Captor X as well. So if you're new to the channel, please do subscribe. I really would appreciate it. And ring that bell so you see when I post a new video or go live. But like I said, I love this thing. Honestly, it's been a bit of a game changer for me. If you own a real amp and pedals, just check these out. It's so awesome. And I only showed you a little bit of what I can do today. We didn't run through all the cabs. I didn't load impulse responses. I didn't show you the twin tracking where you can go in stereo and have like a twin tracked effect. It's so cool, and everything just is so musical and just sounds so good. That's what I love about it. I honestly feel like I'm playing through the amp when I'm sitting here with these in-ear monitors in, and these are quite inexpensive in-ear monitors. I also play through my studio monitors, and I feel like I'm playing through the real amp. I don't really miss the cab. Now, of course, you can't beat the amp in the room thing, but this gets really close. It just sounds so good and so powerful that I don't miss it. And of course, if you combine this with the amp, then you get a really big sound. That's what I want all the time. So I hope you enjoyed this. I love this thing. I highly recommend it. If you're considering it, then definitely check it out. I absolutely love it. And even if you are using digital, this thing could be useful. For example, you can use this to create profiles for the Kemper Profiler or captures for the Neural Quad Cortex, which is coming out real soon. You could use this box to capture your amp into those devices without doing it in the room with a microphone. So I'll be using it for that as well. This thing is so versatile. Just check it out. I absolutely love it. It's amazing. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next video and enjoy those analog effects. Until then, bye-bye.